Everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, so ultimately, right, uh, we gonna do this life path one reading. If you want to figure out what your life path is, you're going to need to know your birthday, add them all up, and reduce it down. If it's a double digit like 11, 22, or 33, you don't need to do that. You just keep it where it is, all right? And if it's not, then you reduce it down to whatever number it is. That's how you figure out what your life path is, all right? All right. So without further ado, life path one, we going to see where it is you are, what it is you would need solution seeking in, and exactly how it is you can reach that goal. We're going to see who some of the major players are in this, right? Uh, we may call out signs, we may not, all right? So, first things first, what it's looking like is the rush for protection, but not necessarily an apology or intimacy, so to speak. That's what the requirement, so to speak, is in regards to like the spiritual contracts, regular contracts, whatever, what have you. It looks like you're going through a sense of waiting within certain things being a secret or not. And some of this other, yeah, because some of this is given the priestess reveal type situation, or what wouldn't be kept secret. It wouldn't have been a secret within waiting for an angel inside of one's mind, waiting for an angel, waiting for a miracle in a community. A lot of this stuff that you need to pay attention to, like Path 1, took place during Neptune retrograde, when Neptune, Mercury, and Aquarius were all retrograde some years ago. Whether or not it would have been that an individual would have had knowledge and rushed in. One of the things it is, right? One of the things that I'm seeing that you should have paid attention to in this situation is what your Jupiter sign is in, if it's reactionary or not. This is why this is important for you, Life Path 1, because you're one of those magicians, manifester, life paths, right? You create and you pull stuff in, but it's also about how it is you initiate the information it is that you will take in. Okay, so you guys, some of this stuff that would be dealing with Marines, uh, not Navy veterans, the same. It's like the training aspect of it that you need to pay attention to in regards to what goes on with when a community journeys to a family room. Some of this that is given is when you would have been watching things together. I said this before, but if you like a Life Path 1 and you watching your Life Path 1 reading in a room with people who are Life Path 3 and Life Path 6, or you trying to figure out what somebody else's life path is opposed to what yours is, it can cause difficulty. Or if everybody is in like the waiting room, is what this given. Yeah, how something for like what is given is like how a Life Path 1 would watch something with a Destiny Path 1, and how one's life path is different than their destiny path. So you got to pay attention to what goes on in your life path with being an initiator and what constitutes as intelligence to, with, and for you. Higher order, it's a lot of higher order stuff that's going on, especially within the delusions and illusions, and the difference between a delusion and an illusion, and standing on what's real within one not being a lover, and what it is to be a star seed. And you have to even pay attention to those things, because on a star seed aspect, that would constitute as angels, and what an angel is, or what it would look like inside of one's mind. One of the things I will say is within the influence of being a gift. One of the things it is I feel like you need to really pay attention to, Life Path 1, within what it is that you would know, and what happens when a priestess dies. That's the other portion. Yeah, because in this whole Memorial Day situation and where it's all coming out, it was something that would have been talked about. Yeah, during the ceremony is what I'm just hearing. And a strategy of a spiritual connection, being emotionally intelligent. Yeah, the difference between emotional intelligence versus being heartbroken versus one being heart open, having their heart open. Okay, in the medical aspect for the nurses, with if you're a life path 20-year nurse, one of the things that you need to pay attention to is what you identify as a community, and yeah, and the works and workings it is that will come into place. Uh, vagus nerve, arms, toes. How it is you alchemicalize things in the toes. Shackles and things of that nature. Yeah, because on the spiritual aspect, it's given like you, if a person is shackled to something. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, what is given is the whole like slavery and enslavement situations that'll come into place, and what would a person be a slave to? No, because it was I'm hearing Patti LaBelle song, tradition. Tradition. It'll be about tradition. Okay, so here's the deal that comes into place with tradition. When different traditions, like past one that you need to pay attention to, different traditions are initiated, right, at different time periods. But there's a whole lot of time. Thus the reason for understanding what goes on with the whole Chronos aspect when you bring that into place and what time is and what time means, and the disappointment that goes on within one being able to go on another day in the unconditional aspect. Part of it is whether or not an individual has unconditional love, or if there's unconditional tolerance. And you can tell the difference between the two, because unconditional love, you can have unconditional love without unconditional tolerance for a behavior. It's about the whole behavior modification aspect, life path one, that you need to pay attention to, and within this whole journey and all this other stuff, uh, into the community, and the journey, and what happens when one journeys outside of a community. Temperance and Nine of Swords. In short, the angel speaks and angel conversations, angelic conversations. What constitutes as angelic conversations? And being patient in conversation. What's your temperament? That's what that's gonna all boil down to. Like path one, you gotta set with yourself and get in the appropriate temperament. The other portion of it is with this doing of love and the King of Cups aspect of the actual doing of standing on what's real and bringing things into reality. Hmm. And how it is one would stand in one, yeah, the how things wouldn't be an illusion. The difference between knowing an illusion, delusion, a vision, a psychic nature, uh, yeah, speaking to the cosmos. One of the things it is, right, that's kind of coming to me because it was coming up was the whole talking to the moon aspect. And when you have your words have power. So paying attention to those aspects as well, because it's given that it would have been some moon magic that will come into place and fruition. But what it is that will be clearing out is the loving nature of an angel, right? One of the things I say is angels ain't gonna talk to you if they don't want you to know something. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's the way that they show that they love you. Another thing is that's coming out right now in the angelic aspect. When an angel would speak through trauma, it doesn't. If it's speaking through trauma, your trauma. Pay attention to your light body, pain body, and shadow bodies. That's what I could do next. But light body, pain body, and shadow bodies. All right. So pay attention to those different things it is, and that you're encountering in your light body, because that could be an attribute to what it is or highlighting the different types of shots in that regard that would be necessary, and whether or not the shots would be necessary inside of one's arm, and if it has to hit a vein or not. Yeah, this is given like the whole administering the medication, and who will come in. Yeah, especially if it's some stuff going on where one couldn't use the Navy, and one would have been a veteran of the Navy and would have just shifted over to the Marines. Not going by water, but going by land. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just keep going. All right, so so you got okay. So what the other portion you need to pay attention to what it is that will be clearing out is the reality of the aggressiveness, with one not being fruitful and there being bad news 2 years ago. And sure, how there were signs. There were signs last month even, and it would have been highlighted last month what the signs were from 2 years ago, part one, part two, from two seeds being placed at the same time, not being twins, and dropping the ball. I just heard dropping the ball, and what it is to drop the ball. Pause. Now here's the deal that's coming into place with it, and then I think I can go ahead and close this up. Uh, when a person says drop the ball, right? And you're talking in a competitive aspect. I'm hoping I'm putting this in the right pretense. Yeah, because this is given by all. But when a person drops the ball, right? Um, in the pretense, are you talking about you dropping the ball so that you can dribble, or are you talking about dropping the ball, yeah, after it's been hit and it's supposed to be a home run? Are you talking about dropping the ball when it's about to be kicked with football? Are you talking about are you talking about dropping the ball with interceptions, right? And fumbles. Um what it's giving is pay attention to the song by Trey Songz has a song. No, it's not Fumbled Your Heart. It's a song that he has where the depiction of it is him being a husband to a woman in the military. So I hope that helps. All right, you got polar bear for the animals, right? We You got polar bear, mystic as the overall essence. You got tiger, you got dolphin, and you got cat. Some of this is gonna come into place with depending on how long you've been rocking with me, right? You should remember some of my visions readings. In those readings, I used to say how dolphins have the same sexuality as humans and rabbits. But more particularly for humans, rabbits do it for procreation, but dolphins enjoy sensual activity just for the sake of enjoying sensual activity. So there's that part. All right, so cards out, right? First one is Tiger or Fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. All right. Then you have Dolphin. Swim in the happy joy of living. Inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom. Go with the flow. And then you have Cat and Independent. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. One of the things that I know Life Path 1 that will happen, right? And it'll be really good for you to understand, especially not only with the whole priestess being revealed or the different secrets it is that will come into place, that you're going in the angelic aspect, stand on the reality of who you are and what you represent and what you stand for. And that'll be the way that you'll show and have love. Okay, so you got that part, and then you got polar bear or mystic. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest. Dream and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. And sure, pay attention to your bloodline aspects as well, and lean more into that, now in regards to the whole military aspect, what I'm getting from it, because and then I can go ahead and close this out, or when one has a really disciplined and structured mind. That's the other thing you need to pay attention to. Yeah, because a lot of times people believe that, just because you're structured or you're disciplined in a certain way, that it has to be that you have like that you're constituted as militant. But it's one of those, when you're about your mission and about your purpose and things of that nature, it'll show up differently to it than for the people you watching with versus the person you don't. Okay, so it's that part. The other portion of it that you want to pay attention to in regards to, who it is, who all's gathered, and if you're on the same vibration and frequency. Yeah, because even if it's put all of the people in, if you're going to organize things, put everybody who is in life path 1 in life path 1, life path 2 life path 2. Yeah, that's, because it's given that it's the organization of a company, how one would organize their company and the company they keep. All right, so I'm going to close this reading. All right. Hopefully that helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that would be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you're more than welcome to do so at lightwork and lightwork LLC at gmail.com. All right.